Hi guys, welcome back to Tigre Gitana. My name is Abby and today we're going to talk about anxiety in astrology. And I'm not going to talk about this in the traditional way because there are like if you study astrology and you kind of dive into anxiety and astrology, you'll see that people will go in and start punching Saturn for anxiety. But we're not going to beat up Saturn today. I might be biased because I'm a Capricorn and that is my zaddy. But we're going to talk about it in a different way in association to the moon, because I feel like this is something that people ignore, especially when anxiety is something that you feel and the moon rules our emotions. So I don't know what blaming Saturn has to do with it, but we're going to talk about it. So yes, if you have something opposing and squaring Saturn, sure, but we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the moon, specifically because the moon affects all of us. It affects how we feel, it affects how we process our emotions, how we go about our day, how we're feeling throughout our day, like what is highlighting in our chart. For the most part, Saturn, the way he'll play his role in it, it's a little bit different. But I'm not gonna sit here and put full blame into Saturn because that makes no sense to me. Saturn does not rule anxiety. He rules time, karma, and karmic debt. He's the piper that you must pay. Like he is not here to be like, I want you to be anxious. That's not what he's here for. He's here for a completely different reason. So I'm not gonna blame Saturn for that. I'm going to, in a way, blame the moon. And not in the way that you might think. So the way that anxiety plays out in astrology, where to the point where you have anxiety in your chart and anxiety in yourself, and you know you have anxiety, you need to look at the moon. You need to look at the current moon, like where the moon is currently. You need to look at your chart. You need to look at your houses. You need to look at your cardinal houses, and you need to see if you have a cardinal sign in those houses. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because if you are a mutable sign, and this usually happens more, they're more prone to it. The cardinal signs themselves, they can get anxiety as well. However, because all of us can get anxiety, right? Everybody can get anxiety. However, cardinal signs will be able to transmute that energy. Why? Because we're the ones who are cardinal in the first place. We're the ones who already have that energy inside us. It's just that the planet is highlight, like the planets then highlight and are like, oh cool, the moon is now in Aries, because the moon is currently in Aries. So I'm gonna use an example. The moon is now in Aries, so everybody's getting this like fire push, like what are we doing, what are we acting, what are we moving on, let's talk about it, let's do it, let's go. That's that moon placement. That's the energy that's happening everywhere, right? And so then a cardinal sign will be able to transmute that energy. And how will they transmute that energy? By doing stuff actively during that period. The 2.5 days in a cardinal sign period, if you kind of pay attention to cardinal signs, they actually will be a little bit more active than usual. Maybe it depends, because some cardinal signs are naturally active. It depends how many fixed placements you have as a cardinal sign as well. There's different levels, like having fixed sign placements, quite a good amount of them in your chart, can make you a little bit less, I don't want to say less cardinal, but it's just like you're not as aggressive cardinally. But there are times where you will move, like it's still in your nature. Like you have to look at your chart as, this is my energy, I'm built from all of these energetic points, these are all of my energies, right? And when you have a cardinal sign, yes, they can have anxiety, but they're also the ones that could transmute it. Also, their anxiety is not coming, it doesn't always come from a place of, oh my god, I really need to get this done, I'm thinking about this, I'm stressed out about this. It's mostly that they already did the thing. If you have a healthy cardinal person, cardinal sign placement, whatever, they already did the thing. They're just anxious about the aftermath of that thing. That's usually how it plays out. However, you can have, again, everybody can have like a toxic placement. There's people that have a lot of toxicity, a lot of trauma, and that affects the way that their cardinal energy gets used. Totally fine. What I'm saying is that cardinal signs will be the easiest to work with this energy, because it is already in their nature. It is in their ego to move and address, move forward, like, let's go, let's do it. What are we doing? So that's cardinal signs. Fixed signs will feel this more as a little bit of a push. Fixed signs can be anxious as well, but it takes, you have to look at your chart, because we're all made from so many different things. But fixed signs can be anxious as well, but that cardinal moon could just give them that, like, the little push to not, you know, to not be so rigid, and just a push to change something. But mutable signs, and I feel like this affects mutable signs the worst, because mutable signs are flowing in nature, not necessarily direct in nature, which is what cardinal signs do and are. The energy is direct. It's not, we're gonna flow, we're gonna swim a little bit, we're gonna go around. No, we're not going around in circles. We're gonna pick a decision, we're gonna go. That's cardinal energy. Mutable signs feel this the worst. And I've noticed this throughout my life, and I've noticed this throughout my friends, people, like, anytime that the moon is in a cardinal placement, there's anxiety everywhere. Like, I'll be on the train and I'll feel it. I'll just be picking up people's vibes all over the place. So there'll be anxiety everywhere. And this is important to talk about, because you really need to pay attention to the moon and how it travels and where it's traveling, what is on. Like, you need to pay attention to the transits and see what is moving on, because when the moon moves into different signs, it's going to highlight an emotional area of your chart. And so when it's in a cardinal sign, and then we're going to talk about the houses now. When it's in one of their cardinal houses, first, fourth, probably the most out of all of these, but fourth, seventh, and 10th, you're going to be anxious about yourself. You're going to be anxious about your emotional state, your deeper self, your relationships, your job, like your status. Like, you're going to be anxious about where you are. Like, there's so many different ways to put it in. But when you have a cardinal placement and you're not a natural cardinal sign, in like your first three, I wouldn't even say rising that much. I would just either say your sun and your moon. When you have a cardinal placement but you're not a cardinal moon or sun, it's a lot harder for you to work with that cardinal energy, especially if you're mutable dominant. If you have a mutable dominant chart and you're more flowy by nature, when it's a cardinal moon, it's like, we need you to make a decision. You need to go. What are we doing? What are we talking about here? You need to... The direction is this way. It's not flowing and let's chill and let's, you know, let me just learn the way I want to learn. No, it's like, there's a test tomorrow. Are you ready? And so this energy is something that, like, tricks a lot of people, because I don't know why people haven't realized this before, but having those placements in your having a cardinal placement in your cardinal houses when you're not a cardinal sign makes it a lot harder to deal with cardinal energy. And so when the moon is sitting right on top of it and your emotions are getting triggered, you get anxious. It highlights anxiety, it highlights frustration, and highlights it literally brings, especially with Aries with this, because it's literal fire, it brings the energy of movement to areas of yourself that are like, no, but I want to flow, I'm a flowy person, that's not how I work, I'm not. But there's a part of you that is like that. And so when we're looking at the moon, we really need to pay attention to it, because then we were able to not only see it coming, but also try to address it in different ways. If you see that something is getting highlighted for you, if it's falling on a specific house, I knew a Pisces that, like, she had a Pisces stellium, mostly mutable. Most of her whole thing was mutable, but her fourth house was in Aries. And every single time the moon would go into a cardinal sign, like clockwork, it would just be like, oh my God, I just, and it's kind of crazy, because I would be there and I'm like, I already feel it. And I know it's not coming from me, because I know how to transmute that energy. I'm a cardinal sign. I can use the energy and be like, okay, I know what I'm doing today. We're going to work out. We're going to go use this energy, turn it into something else, turn it into a situation, and about whatever it is. Cardinal signs have the ability of moving on it. Difference between mutable and carnal right there. So for me, I'd be like, okay, I definitely feel I feel the way it would feel like to somebody else. Being an empath is not easy, I'm telling you right now. I feel the way it feels like to somebody else, but in my body. And the way it feels to other people is that anxiety feeling. And it's a very much like debilitating. And then it's like, it's crazy because I came home yesterday and the first thing I did, I was like, I took my stuff, my bag, like put my bag down. I went to my apothecary space. I grabbed my Palo Santo and my sage, and I just like cleansed. I had to cleanse because it's kind of difficult when when I live in New York City. So it's difficult when I'm on the train, when I'm at work, and the moon is in a cardinal sign, and as an empath, I can feel your own pain. And so I'm like, oh my God. And the worst part is that a lot of people don't understand that. So they think, oh, I just have anxiety. But they don't understand it on a planetary level, which is this area is you're getting emotionally triggered during this time because the moon is in this cardinal sign and it's a powerhouse. So you have that like friction, like, hey, I need you to break, you need to, this overwhelming feeling is something that naturally cardinal signs have. That's how we move. We do stuff, but it's so natural to us that it's not debilitating. Can we get anxiety? Can cardinal signs get anxiety? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. But again, we have the power and the ability to transmute it. Now, if you are a mutable sign, because like I said, this plagues mutable signs more than any other sign, you need to understand and process that energy in your chart is a part of you. You do have that cardinal energy is a part of you. And that means that there's a part of you that is conflicting in your other nature. And so you need to understand that you still need to use this energy, because when you're blocking it, when you're resisting it, when you're letting it overwhelm you, instead of manifesting from it, because listen, I've seen a lot of things in my life, but seeing a mutable sign manifest using their power and cardinal energy right behind it is one of the like beautiful things, because you can just see them be in their power, be in their like for what they are. Like if it's a Sagittarius, being super, like if it's a Gemini, it's like super like mental, being super critical and getting all the notes and just like this directness, this like no this, and just putting everything out and like pushing it in this forward movement, like doing something about what they're thinking about, not just drowning in their thoughts, not doing that. It's just so beautiful, because then you're able to master that energy, you're able to transmute it just the way that cardinal signs can. And so I'm not saying that this is a cure for anxiety, but I'm saying that it would help better if you knew how to use your energy versus work against it, because that is the problem. A lot of people just want to work against what their body is telling you. If your body is telling, if your energy, your body, your spirit is telling you, oh my God, I'm feeling this, then you need to address that thing. And so that's kind of it. And again, this might be coming off kind of harsh because I'm a Capricorn, and so naturally as a cardinal sign, I'm like, okay, what is the problem, right? And then you tell me the problem, and I'm like, okay, so what are we gonna do about it? We could do this, we could do that, and I'll start putting suggestions, because that's literally what cardinal energy is about. It's like you tell me the problem, and I'm gonna try to fix it, because what is the point of telling me the problem if I can't fix it? Dwelling in the problem doesn't always help you get out of the problem. It helps you stay in the problem. I'm not saying that mutable signs always kind of are problematic. They can be, yeah. But for the most part, what you need to understand if you are a mutable sign is that you need the space. You need to give yourself the space to be able to transmute that energy whatever way you want to transmute it. And some signs are better at it than others. but sometimes some signs struggle with the energetic push that you get from having this cardinal placement just like hovering on you. This can also happen during when the sun is in a cardinal sign, but I see this more happening when the moon is in a cardinal sign than anything else, because again, our emotions are getting highlighted. It's switching over every 2.5 days, and so it's like it's on focus, and we're all dealing with this energy, and it's like, yo, why do I feel this way? Like I see it, I feel it. Again, being an empath is not easy when I live in New York City and I'm walking around and I'm at work and I'm picking up everybody else's like, and it's just crazy because it highlights energetically. The way I see it is I can clearly feel which chakra is blocked for people without even looking at them. I could be across the room from someone and I could be like, yo, what's that? I was not feeling that before. And that's how I catch it. I'm like, yo, I was not feeling this before. And then I turn around and this thing is in Reiki called beaming, which is when you look to see where the energy is calling you to, so you can see where the problematic areas are. And I literally just do that, and I'm like, oh, and I'll just pick up people's baggage. I'll pick it up, and I'm like, and being an empath at the same time, we're meant to heal as well. But the problem is that this world is not set up where we can do that. Just be like, hey, let me help you. We can't do that because not everybody, this is not how it's set up. Like, it used to be like, hey, I'm having this issue, and then you go to someone who knows how to address that issue and they can help you out of that. But now it's not like that. It's mostly like everybody has to drown themselves in their own problems and just follow the system and do what they're telling you to do. But meanwhile, we're creating constantly more psychological issues, more diseases that didn't exist before. Like, it's just a whole bunch of nonsense. And so I feel like if you understood your energy, you can at least try to work with it a little bit more. You shouldn't be afraid of it either. So I would say my advice to everybody, go take a look at your chart, look at all your cardinal houses, 1st, 4th, 7th, 10th, see if you have a cardinal placement there. You can also have get highlighted from your planets as well, but it mainly happens, this kind of anxiety happens from your cardinal houses. Don't blame Saturn for this. Yeah, he's gonna pick on you sometimes throughout your life. Yeah, that's what he does, but it's not about making you anxious. It's about dealing your own karma. And he's not trying to give you pain. He's trying to help you grow. The moon is what's highlighting this intense thing inside of us. And so when you have severe anxiety, if you have it, hey, look at your chart. Look at where the moon is. Where the moon is. Study yourself. Make a plan. Make a moon chart. Like, study yourself. Be like, oh my God, okay, I had this happened to me. I had this feeling this day, and like this is how I felt it. Study yourself. We should all be studying yourself. That's what your natal chart is a study of yourself. It's telling you, okay, you were born with these energies. And then throughout your life, see how you move through these energies. See how you transmute these energies. See how you heal with these energies. They're tools. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it came up a little harsh at points. Again, I'm a cardinal sign, so I'm very much about like trying to fix the issue, not necessarily staying there. But I still think it's important for us to understand these things, because again, Saturn can't be blamed for everything. It's definitely the moon. I'm just saying. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions or anything. All my links and stuff will be down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.